Good day, everybody, wherever you are in the world. It's a real sticky day in Durban today, but not quite as hot as it has been. It's Christmas Eve. And I was quite surprised what the reading was, apart from the Christmas story in Luke. The reading is the dialogue between Nathan and King David. When King David wanted to build God a house, and he spoke through Nathan and told him he didn't want a house. But let's read it. The scriptures are 2 Samuel 7, verses 1 to 5, 8b to 12, 14a, and 16, just to make things easy. And they are in my commentary. The core scriptures that he has chosen is from 2 Samuel chapter 7, verses 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 16. And I would actually recommend and encourage you to read the whole of Samuel 7, where it just puts things into context and makes it all make sense. So I'm going to read the bits that Richard has taken out. And he doesn't finish the sentences. So if you look this up in the Bible, you'll see that there's gaps. He kind of writes a phrase and then there's a couple of dots and there's another phrase. So it might sound a bit disjointed. Go and tell my servant David, are you the one to build me a house to live in? This is God talking to Nathan, the prophet Nathan. I took you from the pasture. I have been with you wherever you went, and have cut off all your enemies before you, and I will make for you a great name. I will appoint a place for my people Israel. The Lord declares to you that the Lord will make you a house. Your house and your kingdom shall be made sure forever before me. Your throne shall be established forever. So let's have a look and see what that's all about. It's called All is Readiness. That's the title of Richard's passage this morning. Readiness, I guess, for the birth of Christ. But one thing that this teaching brings through this morning is that we are not waiting for the birth of a baby. We are in fact waiting for the birth of the eternal kingdom of God. So I'm going to start reading now. Probably not many people read meditations on Christmas Eve morning. So I congratulate you, so do I, for taking time to do so when I know there must be so many exciting and anticipatory things to do today. All is in readiness. There is probably no day of the year which has so much expectation as December 24th. It is really more Christmas than Christmas Day itself, because it holds the full energy of Advent. So if you think of Advent as preparing for the coming of the eternal kingdom, then today has the fullness of Advent within it, as the culmination of 4 weeks of reflection, of spiritual energy, of growth, and all those kinds of things. Time has come to its fullness, and you can read about that in Luke 2, verse 6. Hardly anyone comes to church this morning. It is all about tonight for some wonderful reason. You must remember that Richard is Catholic, and like the Anglicans, they will have a midnight mass tonight. And that seems to be the most popular service of the Christmas services, and especially in this time of COVID. I don't know how many people we'll have in our last face-to-face service until the numbers come down. Here in South Africa, we are having a huge spike. Went from 10,000 cases to 14,000 overnight. It's unfortunate, however, because the first reading of today's morning mass is especially poignant, and it's actually one of my favorites, Richard's favorites, and mine, I think. But hardly anyone hears it today. The reading is a wonderful dialogue between the prophet Nathan and King David, part of which we read above. This changing of sides is the great turnaround, which henceforth becomes the central biblical theme of grace, election, and divine initiative. I just want to go over that again because it's really the whole core of this message. So this changing of sides, so what changing of sides? Well, David is saying that he wants to build God a house of cedar. And God is saying, no, I don't want you to build a house for me. I am going to build a house for you. And that is the beginning of not us doing for God, but God always doing for us. And if you look in the commentary, you will see that I quote Jeremiah, where God says, I don't want your worldly sacrifices. I think in one of the versions it says they're a stench unto my nostrils. He wants followers of his way. He doesn't want gifts, worldly gifts. He wants people to love and follow in his way. So we've talked about the changing of sides and the great turnaround. And he says that this henceforth becomes the central biblical theme of grace. The grace of God is what continues to love and to give to us even when we say no to him. It is the grace of God. Election, we are his chosen. We are his chosen. And divine initiative. So God is always acting out in our lives for our good and for the good of the world. We set out, like David, thinking we have to do something to prove ourselves to God. Right? We have to prove something to someone who created us in his image. It doesn't really make sense, does it? Build a house for God is the metaphor of proving ourselves to God. And as always, God turns it around and says, no, David, no people of Israel, no chosen ones, let me build a house for you. And what we need to realize is it wasn't just David and his lineage and Jesus who were here to birth the eternal kingdom of God, but that kingdom is birthed within us. And if I can use a phrase from the independent churches, we are reborn. Every year at Christmas time, the kingdom of God is reborn in us. Okay? So yeah, and Richard also says here, go and read to Samuel chapter 7 because it really is beautiful. So I think Richard takes a bit of a cop out here. It's almost like it's the end of Advent. I'm tired, but but he says it's time to let that story of Nathan and David and God soak into unconscious, and I have no problem with that. I think that's the most wonderful story to soak into your consciousness. It will prepare us fully for the day ahead, and much more than anything I can say. Okay, so the time has come now for our reflection, our 10-minute reflection. And I think Richard has a lovely one to offer us. He says, are we still trying to build God a house? Or can we first let God build one for us? Are we still trying to build God a house? Are we still trying to prove ourselves? Can we let God build us a house? silent night, holy night, Son of God, lost, sorry, lost your light, brilliant beams from thy holy face. With the dawn of redeeming grace, Jesus looked at thy birth. Jesus looked at thy birth. Silent night, holy night, Son of God, lost your light, radiant beams from thy holy face. With the dawn of redeeming grace, Jesus looked at thy heart. Jesus Lord, at thy heart. Let's say together the Lord's Prayer in any version of language or choice. It's said slowly with deep meaning. Our Father. So as usual, just become slowly aware of the room around you and the space that your body is taking up. Twiddle your fingers and toes. Take some nice deep breaths. I will be with you once more tomorrow morning. And I'm quite sure you won't be listening to me at this time, but in your own time, when things settle down and you have some time. That's fine, and if you don't get round to it, that's also fine. So in case I don't see you, and in case I miss you tomorrow, have a blessed Christmas. I just want to apologize if I'm a little off this morning, maybe off June, but it's been a rough morning. We've been preparing to say goodbye to a beloved pet, and I don't think we're in a good space, so I do apologize if I wasn't quite in the right spirit this morning. If you would like, pray for our family as we say goodbye to our beloved mystery. May the peace of God surround you. May the Lord's light shine upon you. And may you know His peace forever and ever. Amen.